Coming up today on Good Morning BU.
President Joe Biden gives his final State of the Union address ahead of the 2024 election. We give you the full rundown.
Sea levels are on the rise. A new study reveals what U.S. coastal cities may be in jeopardy.
An explosive discovery in the Charles River. Police investigate 2 incidents of explosives being found in the water.
BU's Student Link gets a makeover. We walk you through how the platform has changed ahead of registration for classes next fall.
And for the first time in GMBU history, we give you a live performance. One of our very own Terriers joins us in studio with an exclusive preview of one of his newest songs.
Live from Studio West in the College of Communication, Good Morning BU starts right now.
Hello and welcome to Good Morning BU. I'm Sophia Falbo.
And I'm Lainey Broussard. Here are today's top stories. Last night, President Joe Biden delivered his final State of the Union address ahead of the 2024 presidential election. And Biden didn't waste any time drawing a stark contrast between himself and his Republican opponents. Within the opening moments of his speech, he denounced those who were a part of the January 6th insurrection and people who failed to heed the threat from Russian President Vladimir Putin aimed towards Ukraine. Among addressing topics ranging from aid efforts in Gaza, taxes, and immigration, Biden also took a firm stand for the reinstatement of abortion and reproductive rights.
If you, the American people, send me a Congress that supports the right to choose, I promise you, I'll restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land.
According to a poll averaged by The Hill, 58% of Americans disapprove of Biden's current job performance. Many voters remain critical of the ways he has handled the nation's economy and are skeptical of his age preventing him from carrying out another term. Biden's voter support trails slightly behind after former President Donald Trump closed the GOP nomination with several victories on Super Tuesday.
Now turning to Gaza. A ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas failed to break through on Tuesday after 3 days of negotiations. After 5 months of conflict, much of Gaza lies in ruins, and officials say it has been difficult delivering much-needed resources to people, especially in the northern region. Egyptian officials said that the ceasefire negotiations included talks of releasing Israeli hostages before the start of Ramadan, which was the informal deadline for the deal. President Joe Biden stated that the U.S. must find ways to deliver aid and support the people in Gaza on Tuesday.
Sweden formally joined NATO yesterday. Becoming its 32nd member, this new addition comes after the country's stance of being military unaligned for over 200 years. Russia's invasion of Ukraine over 2 years ago was partly the cause. Secretary of State Antony Blinken had this to say yesterday.
This is a historic moment for Sweden. It's historic for our alliance. It's historic for the transatlantic relationship.
A ceremony will take place Monday to raise the Swedish flag at NATO's headquarters in Brussels.
In other international news, the Haitian crisis puts pressure on the United States as groups of armed gangs push Prime Minister Ariel Henry to resign. Matthew Miller, spokesman for the State Department, said that the U.S. is, quote, urging to expedite the transition to an empowered and inclusive governance structure. The current unease in Haiti has provoked doubts about the plan for Kenya to lead a security mission in the country, which was financially endorsed by both the U.S. and Canada.
Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley suspended her campaign Wednesday after winning only one primary on Super Tuesday. The remaining Republican candidate, former President Donald Trump, asked in a social media post for supporters of Nikki Haley to now back him. Democratic candidate and current President Joe Biden also welcomed Haley's supporters, citing that before now, Trump previously rejected them.
The time has now come to suspend my campaign. Up to Donald Trump to earn the votes of those in our party and beyond it who did not support him.
While Haley didn't endorse either candidate, she urged Trump to win the support of the Republicans and independents who had supported her.
On Wednesday, the House of Representatives passed a bipartisan $460 billion spending bill to avoid a partial shutdown. Dozens of federal agencies will continue to receive funding through September. The legislation now heads to the Senate, which must pass it by midnight tonight. Spending bills for the other half of government agencies over the same time period are still under negotiation.
Senator Bob Menendez, a New Jersey Democrat, was indicted Tuesday on criminal charges as an extension of a year-long bribery scheme involving the governments of Egypt and Qatar. Adding on to existing charges, Menendez was charged with conspiracy, obstruction of justice, acting as a foreign agent, bribery, and extortion. His wife, Nina Menendez, and a business associate pled guilty only days ago and agreed to cooperate on ongoing investigations. The couple are accused of accepting gold bars, cash, cars, and other material objects in exchange for ongoing deals with both countries. His trial date is set for Manhattan court on May 6th. Menendez maintains his innocence and denies accepting any bribes.
A groundbreaking study published by Nature on Wednesday reveals alarming vulnerabilities in over 32 coastal cities across the United States. The study suggests that current scientific models may not accurately capture the full extent of the threat posed by rising sea levels. Researchers suggest that policymakers should invest in local management policies to fortify coastal infrastructure as hazard mitigation efforts fall below adequate.
This Wednesday, Alabama passed a bill protecting IVF fertilization providers from civil and criminal liability. Joe Biden provided his support for IVF patients last night at his State of the Union address.
Tonight, let's stand up for families like hers. To my friends across the aisle, don't keep this waiting any longer.
This is following a recent ruling from the state Supreme Court that frozen embryos should be considered children.
Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, the armorer for the film Rust, was found guilty on Wednesday for involuntary manslaughter charges due to her negligence of handling weapons used on set. What you are seeing here is where the shooting took place back in October of 2021 that caused the unfortunate death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Alec Baldwin, the actor who fired the gun, is also expected to face involuntary manslaughter charges on trial in July. The jurors who were on trial for the manslaughter charges against Gutierrez-Reed made arguments that she was responsible for the correct ammunition being loaded and for the general track of the guns being used on set. This is a continuing story.
New York City subway stations are now being patrolled by 1,000 members of the State and Police National Guard. Governor Kathy Hochul ordered Wednesday the deployment of members to conduct bag checks and guard the subway platforms. Riders can deny getting their bag checked, but officers can deny them subway access. This comes after Mayor Eric Adams ordered 1,000 officers in subways in the February area after a 45% of major crimes in the area in January from the same time last year. And stick around if you're feline catty for overdue books. More on this story after the break.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education. What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That would be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Welcome back. Massachusetts lawmakers will vote Wednesday on a proposed cap on emergency shelter stay. The cap would mean 9 months for individuals and up to a year for those with special circumstances. There hasn't been any cap on the system before, and this is proposed to help alleviate the financial strain and shorten the waitlist for shelters. The House Committee on Ways and Means announced a new budget proposal to fund the program until this summer.
In continuation from 2 weeks ago, the Massachusetts House passed a spending bill that limits a 9 to 12-month stay in the emergency shelter system. On Wednesday, the House Democrats voted to direct $245 million towards improvement in the shelter system. They also voted to limit the length of stay for people using the shelter facilities. With no current limit of the stay in Massachusetts shelters, the number of residents nearly doubled in recent years. The bill aims to cut these numbers significantly in the coming months.
A Massachusetts man sues the government $9.5 million after crashing into a parked helicopter. In 2019, Jeff Smith was riding along a trail on a snowmobile when he crashed into the rear end of the helicopter, cutting himself on the blades. He argues he needs this money for hospital bills and to hold the government responsible for the incident. He also claims there was a failure to notify people on snowmobiles of the parked helicopter, giving him no protection. The U.S. District Court in Springfield is expected to visit this lawsuit later in the year.
Don't throw a hissy fit over book fees because the Worcester Public Library has got you covered. The library is now accepting cat photos to pay for late return fees and damaged items. This new addition is part of the library's, get this, March Meowness, a month dedicated to celebrating cats. In just the first 5 days of the month, 400 accounts have been cleared using this new form of currency. This successful feline forgiveness program is certainly one for the books.
Another explosive has been found in Needham, Massachusetts, pulled from the Charles River by a magnet fisher near the Kendrick Street Bridge. This marks the second such discovery in a week, with a bazooka round being retrieved this time. Residents have been alerted by Needham police about a controlled ignition of the ordnance. State police are assisting local authorities in handling the situation.
Former Northeastern University women's track coach Steve Wade was sentenced to 5 years in prison in federal court Wednesday in connection to cyber sex schemes. Wade had pleaded guilty in November to 12 counts of wire fraud, cyber stalking, and computer fraud. A U.S. District Court judge enforced the sentence after hearing statements from the victims, who said he created multiple sham social media accounts to trick dozens of young women into sending explicit photos of themselves. According to prosecutors, Wade victimized at least 56 women and attempted to victimize 67 more. Upon his release following his 5-year sentence, Wade is prohibited from taking any job as a coach, teacher, or mentor.
The Anti-Defamation League has strongly criticized Tufts University following reports of anti-Semitic incidents during a student government meeting. The meeting, held on Sunday night, allegedly saw Jewish students subjected to derogatory remarks, including being told they smelled and being spit on. Tufts University officials have pledged to investigate the accusations thoroughly and hold any students found responsible accountable for their actions. They also emphasized the university's rejection of the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement and called for unity on campus amid the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Experimental medicine from Cambridge pharmaceutical company Alnylam lowers blood pressure when combined with a complementary drug in clinical trials. The drug, called zilebesiran, is set to be presented on April 6 at the American College of Cardiology's annual scientific session in Atlanta. High blood pressure, which is a leading source of cardiovascular disease, causes 10 million deaths annually all around the world. If the two companies succeed, a biannual injection for high blood pressure may become available in the near future.
Welcome back to Tea Time. Today marks the last day of the Green Line shutdown since February 20th due to ongoing track work. Following the weeks of repair, the trains will finally be back up and running tomorrow. For all the Terrier spring breakers, the tea will be waiting for you when you get back. Don't skate away just yet. Up next are some talented Terriers who are real cool under pressure.
I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly,
disgusting,
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back. Boston University researchers have found evidence of traumatic brain injury in the Army reservist who killed 18 people in Lewiston, Maine. Through a brain tissue analysis, the university's CTE Center found degeneration in the nerve fibers that allow communication between the brain. Robert R. Card II had been an instructor at a grenade training range where he was exposed to thousands of blast waves for years. The researchers concluded that brain injury likely played a role in the tragedy, but they didn't find any evidence of CTE in his brain.
The Robotics and Autonomous Systems Teaching and Innovation Center, also called RASTIC, at Boston University is now open. The $8.8 million center intends to allow students from undergraduate to doctorate levels to expand their skills in robotics and be ready to make a difference in the workplace. Students have the opportunity to design, build, and test robots of all kinds while simultaneously receiving mentorship from the College of Engineering staff. The RASTIC resources are available to all engineering students at BU, and we can't wait to see what these students create.
Students can now begin planning their fall 2024 classes in the new MyBU student portal. This is the latest step in upgrading the 4-decade-old student information system. The MyBU student portal includes course catalogs and offerings in a specific semester. And in mid-April, students should expect to have their appointments for enrolling in classes.
Lainey, you spin me right around, and so does the BU figure skating team. We have our sports correspondent, Alexa Podowski, with the latest from BU's figure skating team.
Did you know BU has a nationally ranked figure skating team? If you said no, you're not alone.
I kind of found myself loving it in college too, so I wish other people could see how great it is, but maybe that's why you're here today.
Noelle is a member of the reigning national championship team and practices most days at the Walter Brown Arena. Every day, she battles the stigmas affiliated with being a part of a female-dominated sport.
It'd be nice to get all of the practices that we want and all the funding that we want, but that's not necessarily the case.
Figure skating at BU is so overlooked that most are unaware the sport doesn't have a co-ed varsity team.
You can ask, I would say, a general BU student, and I don't think they would know that we have a team, separate from the fact that we are the best in the country. So I think there's that discrepancy of how is it that we're very known within the figure skating world across the US, but yet the average BU student doesn't know that there's a team here at all.
The skating world itself has drastically changed since Andrew Korda, the dance coach, graduated in 2013.
So when we go to competitions, we're competing against other schools, people from all different backgrounds. And what's really exciting to see there is that every person is there to compete on behalf of their team, and nothing else really matters.
BU figure skating represents one of the many programs looking to change the stigma surrounding artistic sports.
People like to categorize an artistic sport like dance or ballet or figure skating. They separate those from those D1 sports that in their head, those are the ones that are the most impressive.
When people really get to start watching figure skating, I think they can see the athleticism, and that's starting to resonate.
The team heads to Utica, New York this weekend for their final competition of the regular season.
So this last competition at Utica is a really exciting chance for us to showcase some more of our wonderful skaters and give those folks another training opportunity leading up to nationals.
Reporting for Good Morning BU, I'm Alexa Podolsky.
Thank you, Alexa. On the note of BU Terrier accomplishments, entertainment correspondent Natalie Lett is in studio today with BU senior and musician Lorenzo Solari to hear about his upcoming song and music video release. And because we love our viewers so much and we're pumped about spring break starting tomorrow, we're bringing you GMBU's first ever live performance of Lorenzo's newest song. Natalie, I'll turn it over to you at our interview set.
Thanks, Sophia. And thank you, Lorenzo, for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
I know we're all excited to hear you perform, but first, can you tell us what the song is about?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think I kind of always start writing my music based on kind of like my own experiences, but then they always kind of take their own kind of shape. So the song is about kind of a character going through confounding emotional feelings for a significant other.
Awesome. That's really interesting. So I hear your video was designed and produced by other BU students. Who are they and what inspired you guys to work together?
Yeah, they're absolutely brilliant. Grace Roden and Ellie Pink, both seniors here at BU. And really, we were friends from freshman year, and they knew I played music. So they kind of came to me and they said, hey, we want to try to like make a music video for anything. And so that's kind of like a big driving factor of the song was its relationship with the music video, which I think ties everything really well together.
I love that. And now the moment we've all been waiting for, Lorenzo Solari playing his original song, Claire at Night.
Like it stains of clear at night. Wish the feeling that we get when we get right. With the glass inside of mine, just to see where I can find you between the lines. But your tongue kissed the pavement, just that sure you make it. Can't leave the day. I know we're not the same. Bottoms up, but bottle down. When no one is around, set the summer on your face. I know we're not the same. Seven days and 7 nights. Kiss the morning sun seeping through the blinds. Watch them diamond while you whine. Jesus knows how long till we can find the time. But your tongue kissed the pavement, just that sure you make it. Can't leave the day. I know we're not the same. Bottoms up, but bottle down. When no one is around, set the summer on your face. I know we're not the same. Is there something that I said? Something that you read that changed your mind.
That was amazing. Thank you so much. If you want to watch out for Lorenzo's music video, keep an eye out for its release in April. And be on the lookout for Lorenzo's music drop on Spotify. Stick around to learn the best spring break tips and tricks.
Congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow. I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back. Planning on leaving Boston for spring break? Well, our interview correspondent Michael Rodriguez spoke to a Boston travel agent about how to travel in a safe and smart way.
Consider travel insurance. It's not as expensive as you think it is, and you have no idea what's going to go on. Carry-ons. You can fit everything in a carry-on. You're going to save yourself a lot of heartache. You have no idea how many bags get lost, and wearing the same outfit for 3 days in a row is the least ideal way to kick off a trip. Apple AirTags. If you do have to check a bag, put an Apple AirTag in it so you can actually see where it's going. Don't forget sunscreen. If you're going somewhere warm, don't forget sunscreen. It can be like $30 a bottle at some resorts. So have it with you. Don't open yourself up for the opportunity to get burnt and ruin everything day one. Use the ATM at the airport when you land if you're dealing with a different currency. Save yourself the headache of hunting for an ATM wherever you're going. Just get your money at the airport. You have it for the taxi on the way home. If you're traveling abroad, print out physical copies of your passport. If anything happens, they're really, really useful to have. And as always, just be respectful. Treat, like, wherever you travel, treat it as if it's your own backyard. Treat the people you meet as if they're your neighbors, because they live there. They're proud and they're happy to share their home with you, but it's important to be respectful while you enjoy it. There's a lot of profound things that can happen in travel, and I think it's important to unplug, like put your phone down and actually immerse yourself in the moment. The little old man sitting on a park bench somewhere is like a great resource to go sit and chat with and learn about, where he's from and why he loves it. Try new foods, get outside of your comfort zone, like challenge yourself to do different things. Always be safe, but really use that opportunity to, experience a different version of yourself. And I think that's my favorite thing about travel is it's, infinite ability to transform you. So enjoy that, savor that, and appreciate, the opportunity and the fact that the privilege that you have to be able to do that. I think we're very lucky, to have that option. So be grateful.
Michael Rodriguez, Good Morning BU.
Boston next weekend, we have our entertainment correspondent with all the St. Patrick's Day Parade intel. Next Sunday, the Allied War Veterans Council is presenting their annual South Boston St. Patrick's Day Evacuation Day Parade. The highly anticipated event is the talk of the town in Boston, and many students make the trip across the city to attend.
It's one of the biggest things in the city the entire year. It's a pretty much like a mile-long parade that goes throughout Southie.
The parade has a rich history dating back to before the United States was founded.
It's our way to honor our veterans and our service members. March 17th, 1776 happened to coincide with St. Patrick's Day, and that's the day General Washington evacuated the British from Boston. And then South Boston somehow became a big Irish community. Independence Day doesn't happen without Evacuation Day, most likely. And I kind of feel the birthplace of America was in South Boston on March 17th.
The atmosphere of the parade is absolutely amazing. Everyone's in a great mood. Everyone's excited. Everyone's ready to have fun.
We're trying to go back to a little more family friendly. It's been known to be almost like a Mardi Gras in March. We want everybody to come and have a good time, but please be responsible and respect the neighborhood. That's all we ask.
The parade will start at 1 p.m. and go through South Boston on Sunday, March 17th. If you attend, don't forget to be safe and wear green. For Good Morning BU, this is Natalie Lett reporting. Thank you, Natalie. That's going to do it for Good Morning BU. Thanks for watching.
But before we go, we'd like to give a huge shout out to everyone on cast and crew for pulling off an amazing show before spring break, and to all of you for making it this far in the semester. Keep on pushing through.
From all of us here on the GMBU team, thank you so much for watching. I'm Sophia Falvo.
And I'm Lainey Broussard. Stay safe and have a great spring break.